EJ always designate you to be the guy? Does EJ always say you have to go first?
Well, I don't know. EJ didn't say anything, but I just sort of stepped up. You got to make the big play.
Jerry, go ahead. You can certainly lead us off. And by way of reminder, this is being recorded. And if you are not asking a question, please keep yourself on mute. And with that, Jerry, why don't you get us out of the gate?
Okay, I'm out of mute now. Pat, we haven't spoken to you since after Jalen made his decision. And I'm just wondering if you could talk about some of the conversations you had with him before and after he decided to opt out, and if you've had any similar discussions with any other players in the meantime.
Yeah, no, we had plenty of discussions. He had discussions with Coach Partridge and myself. One thing about Jalen, he's a great communicator. So we had several discussions, really thought it over. He did a good job thinking things over about what he needed to do. And not to rehash, we all know what happened there. And, we wish Jalen the best. He had some things family-wise that he had to take care of. They're pretty important to him and to me. I mean, it was like, I might have to kick him out the door and go take care of it as much as I didn't want to. We talk about family is the most important thing, period. Their family and our family. And, these kids have two big families. And it's just important our kids do what they need to do. And he felt like that's what he needed to do. And I back him up 100%. And then the back end of your question there, there's ongoing discussions. I think, you're always, these kids have so many things on their minds right now, guys. And, I just addressed this maybe 2 nights ago, just about like on game day, and the night before the game and Thursday, after our last practice, I was talking about, to the guys about getting their mind right. Okay. And, get your mind right. And, I worry about these kids because there's so much to think about right now. They're reading what's happening in the Big Ten and back to Pac-12, and why are these doctors saying that? They're saying this. So there's a lot of concern out there, I think, in this world, period. We're in a pandemic for a reason. So I think the kids have a lot of things on their minds. Nobody wants to have a problem. Who are you trusting? And I really believe our kids trust this place here. And we've done an incredible job. Again, UPMC, let me just tell you, some of the protocols they've put in place, I can't say enough and thank them enough just with what they do and how they do it. And, we've been very careful here. We've been smart. You heard about the, I don't know if I call it a sudden change, but the little issue, I believe it was Thursday. It seems like it was 3 weeks ago, guys. Every day is a different day. I'm telling you, it's weird. These kids got a lot on their minds. Okay. And to right now tell their, today I made everybody say, mind, okay, before practice out there in our focus period that you guys have seen in the past. So, get your mind right for this practice. Lock into to the next 2 hours and think about nothing else, because there's a lot going on, as you guys know. I've got a daughter that's in school right now. She moved into Nordenberg. She got a lot on her mind. Her roommates got a lot on her mind. They're all looking like, what is going on? People running around with masks on. It's a scary place out there right now. And I think that's what people are doing. So there's a lot of people that have things on their minds.
Do you expect any more opt-outs before the season starts?
You know what? I have no idea, Jerry. I really don't. I don't have one on my watch right now, on the clock. I hope not, but I can't, we got to protect our kids. And if a kid doesn't want to play, and if a kid is scared for any reason, I'm like, hey, you got to do what's best for you. I can't, everybody's got a different feeling. I'm 54 years old. I got no fear. I want to coach. I'm ready to go. I got no fear. Okay. But everybody's different. And, I'm looking at, looks like with EJ up there, I'm looking at, with the 8 faces on this camera right now, and everybody's got a different thought. Like, hey, there's someone on this view right now that's scared. Okay. I don't know who it is. I'm not going to call one of you guys out. And then there's people and then there's Chris is scared up there. He called himself. So, which is great. Everybody, and you got kids and you got grandparents and you got moms and dads, and everybody's got different situations that we all have to make sure we're, cognizant of.
Pat, when you're considering these decisions that these kids are making right now, are you considering these final? Is there a situation where a guy could say right now, I don't think I want to play, and then he sees, oh, everybody played a couple weeks and things went well, and then, maybe I want to get back in there? And is that something that you have to decide as a team, or are you getting guidance on that from the NCAA?
No, the NCAA. Who is the NCAA? I don't even know who they are. Okay, they're non-existent. Okay, I don't think the NCAA can find me. I think the ACC can find me. I don't think the NCAA could. So I didn't know. I don't know. But this is not about anybody. The NCAA is not making decisions. These kids are making decisions. And I'll make a decision with the kid, with his parents, whatever it may be, and what's best for them. If kid's got to take a leave for a couple of days and he's got to get his mind right and he's got to think about some things, then he's got to go. If a kid says, hey, I'm going to opt out, and then he wants to come back and play, how can I say no? You know, I can't say, no, you can't come back, because what's he going to do up on campus all day going to – I mean, he's going to be miserable. So we're in times right now that nothing is – today we weren't supposed to practice, okay? I've kind of moved the days around, you know. I mean, I've moved the days around based on what's going on, what's our feelings, and it's all about feelings. There's no sense in going on that field if we don't have our minds halfway through. So I just kind of the calendar I've thrown out. I'm like, I just got to say one day at a time. And I'm going to take it that way with the kids. Now, I don't want guys opting out and coming back 3 days later and all that, but, you know, hopefully we do a good enough discussion prior to that they don't have to leave and come back. If they come back, then it's like somehow there's a bad miscommunication, okay? But if there's a miscommunication and you know, because I'd like them to, before they leave, make a good decision and be firm where they are. And I think that's going on across the country. I mean, you know, I've talked to a few coaches. It's like it's every day it's something else. So let me take my water off here. Got no table.
Pat, does it feel like you guys are a month away from the season at this point? Like, does it, has that settled in or not?
Well, it's settled. I mean, as soon as we start camp, I mean, we're like ready to go. You know, you're wondering what's happening with an opener. You know, we got time. You know, I've spread our practice days out differently when we did in the you know, knowing that we weren't opening up on September 5th, that gives us, we were able to open up the NCAA. What did I just say? I shouldn't even say that. Maybe that's what they do. They just set rules. That's about all they do. But they said we could start camp as if we were starting September 5th. So we have some days. I expect to still change things up, okay? So we do have days available. But I want to make sure they're there because I want them later on. I would rather, when we get closer to game day, of kind of lighten it up. Like our plan is the week before, but my plan is going to change too. Our plan is to practice Tuesday, like the week before camp or week before game day. You know, not game week, but the week before game week was to practice on Tuesday, not practice on Wednesday, practice on Thursday, not practice on Friday, and then practice on Saturday, just to spread it out, get them fresh. But if I got to adjust the schedule, we'll see it as we go. So,
you mentioned September 5th. It looks like you lost your opponent for September 12th. Do you think you'll try and find another team to fill in there, or are you now thinking about the 19th as your first week?
You know what? You know, we'll take that day by day as well, Chris. You know, obviously we're looking. We've got some inquiries. You know, my biggest concern is the health and safety of our kids. You know, I get concerned about these teams that can come in, can do what we ask them to do. And, the ACC protocols are going to get more strict, not less strict. So they'll be a little bit more stringent and I'm not sure some of the teams can do what we want them to do. And I'm not, I'm not going to sit here and hope on a Friday before they get here. Well, I hope they did that. There can't be so, we'll play that by ear and, we'll let Heather make that decision.
Pat,
I'm just going to coach. Whenever they tell us to play, I'm playing.
Pat, I'm curious. Can you just sort of walk us through what happened last week? I mean, you guys EJ sent out a release after practice saying, or at the end of the day, saying, hey, we didn't practice today because there were kids that displayed COVID symptoms. I'm assuming, is it safe to assume that all those kids had, because it wasn't specific, tested negative, and that's what allowed you to return to practice?
Yeah. So here's our protocol. I was looking for my phone here. On my phone, I don't know, we have a thing called TeamWorks. Okay. And probably nobody showed you this. So here's our TeamWorks app. And I've got nothing in there, but if I go to this little red bell over here, every day I get, every day you can see we get this what the heck is that? Every day we get this COVID thing, which, obviously I filled out. Okay. So, and our kids have done an incredible job. Let me just tell you, they've done an incredible job. So in the morning, all of you guys wake up, you're coming to Pitt to practice. You're coming to practice. Coaches got to do it. Everybody that comes in here, equipment guys, managers, trainers, okay? The protocol is set up by UPMC. So everybody has to do the same thing. So they fill out this 4-question questionnaire. They come in. If they don't feel good, we say, do not come in the building. Okay, don't come in the building. So they're not allowed to come in. Call the trainer. Trainer gets the call, and hey, I don't feel good today. What's your symptoms? I got a headache. Well, headache is part of one of the symptoms of COVID, correct? What's one of the other big symptoms? Give me one. Fever. Yep. We take the temperature every day coming in. Okay. Another big one is body aches. Okay. So after our first day of pads, we got guys that have headaches. Okay. And we got guys that got body aches. Okay. If we stuck you guys in a collision sport and put a helmet on and shoulder pads, I know when back in the day when I played, I had a headache and body aches the next day, and then the next day, and the next day. So, but you know what? You got to take it for real. And, so when our kids got that, and I got to, Dale's done it, Dale Thornton has done a great job at, like, I get more text messages from him. I'm sick of him, to be honest with you. But we get a lot of text messages. So I was getting these text messages. I'm like, holy cow. And there's symptoms, another symptom. And again, it's symptoms. And you got to, you can't say, oh, it's because they caught contact yesterday. So it scares you. You just were like, got to be safe. It's like, poof, shut it down. And we had a team meeting, because everybody just got there, and I just shut it down. And, right after the team meeting, I shut it down and went and got each group, and we got them in the locker room, one position by, at a time, just to get up. Don't take a shower, grab your stuff, and get out. Just so they didn't go take a shower. I wanted to get them in and out as quickly. Go back to your apartments for the rest of the day and do it. So long story short, we had them get tested that day, less than 24 hours. Again, thanks to UPMC, they got the results back, which, thank God, Allegheny County's doing right now. I think we're 71 today, which if it's up into 300, it's going to take a lot longer than that. But they got it back to us, and they were all negative. So that was why we were able to come back and go. But you got to be, safe, and it's only a practice. And that's why I said this calendar changes. You just kind of do what you need to do from there. So is that answer that?
Yeah, do you have a fear of checking that app and you got an alert, and it's like, is that almost like a frightening, because the season hangs in the balance every time that thing dings in a way?
And I'm not worried about our guys down here. As crazy as it is, like, this is I tell them every day, this is the safest place you can. I got to thank, Kevin and our chefs. We have Billy runs around here, and Brad, he's wiping doorknobs all day, armrests, everything he's touched. There couldn't be a safer place than where we are right now. We've got people just cleaning doorknobs. It's incredible. And after practice today, I said, listen, you guys are going back up on campus, wash your hands. There's nobody cleaning doorknobs up there. Be careful. So, what we've done down here is great. I told him the other day, what I'd like to do is put them in the indoor, line up mattresses around the place. And we just bunk them right there. Take the doors, shut them, lock them up, not let them out, and just keep them in our little paradise down here. But, but again, UPMC doesn't want to do that either. They're not going to be in that little cocoon and not be able, they have to go out. This is kind of life here. So again, I think great recommendations by UPMC is kind of like, hey, you got to go out. We just got to teach them how to, to act. And I think our guys are well trained.
Pat, it feels like the state of college football is changing by the hour, maybe by the day right now. You mentioned the players have a lot on their shoulders right now. Have you sensed a lack of, or a dip in enthusiasm or motivation or anything? How have practices gone so far with the players is going through a lot of stuff right now?
Yeah, that's why I said get your mind right out for those 2 hours there. But I think it's going pretty good. I think once we get them out there, that they, it's just that safe place out on the field. I think they enjoy playing football. And again, as long as I don't feel like they're anxious and thinking about too much, and I want everybody in. I'm kind of an all in or we ain't in. I want to be together out there. I don't want to go out there. We did one blue gold practice. I don't know if we talked about this, where we went 2 squads. The kids didn't like that at all. So if they don't like it, I ain't doing it. UPMC doesn't like those anyway. All our protocol says don't try it, but I want to see what it was like. I've never done it before, ever in my life, where we put, half the offense and half the defense out there in practice, and then they leave and we come and have another one. We had 2-a-days, but with only one of the groups. So what was the rest of that question? I don't know if I answered it. All right. About all the different stuff. I did get it. You guys, anybody want to talk football? Come on, Kelly. Let's talk a ball. Kelly would be the first one to ask a football, like who looks good or something. Golly, I thought it was a football meeting.
But you got the
You guys got a
other
lot on your minds, though.
the other thing. I guess the other announcement since last time we talked to you was Joey Yellen getting eligible. I mean, what do you expect for him? Just compete for the backup job, or I mean, what are you looking out of him this year? Since you know he can actually get on the field for you.
You know what? There's going to be a quarterback battle there. We got three really, good backup quarterbacks to Kenny. Again, Kenny's our starter right now, but would love to have two guys ready to go that you felt like, man, either one of those guys is good. We're in a COVID situation right now, and who knows? Someone tests positive on a Wednesday, which will be one of our days that we test. In the ACC, you never know what's going to happen. So you just got to. You got to get as many guys as you can at any position, and if there's some crossovers, if someone's got to play two ways, you got to play them two ways. Whatever you got to do. I mean, that's kind of where we are at this point. I don't know what's going to happen up on the hill when school starts and these kids are running around, but I hope they're safe. That's what I'm worried about. I'm not worried about our guys. I'm worried about what happens elsewhere.
Speaking of Joey, we do have Joey in the waiting room. How about we take a couple more questions for Coach, and then we'll get Joey on for some Q&A.
You'll have Joey, but we're fired up. Let me just tell you, we're fired up about Joey being out there. He ran a 2-minute drill today, took the offense down and kicked a field goal in a 2 minutes. So he looked sharp at that drill and just gives him another – I would think he was a little bit more juiced up today, just knowing that he was good to go and just another opportunity.
Pat, what do you tell the defense? Go ahead, Kelly.
Oh, Kelly's I was going to say, since he called me out, I'm sorry. Since he called me out, how's the team look, Coach?
Hey, football question. You know what? We look pretty good out there. We had probably 3 live periods today. But, we're doing some good things. Defense is playing well like we expect. The offense is running the ball a little bit better. We're throwing the ball well. It's hard. They're going against a good defense. Again, it's always hard. But, I like where we're at right now. I like what we're doing. I like the scheme we got going on. I like the attitude. So, Kelly, we look good. There's some good football being played.
Pat, what do you tell the defense, specifically the D-line, about losing Twyman, what that means and what the opportunity is there for maybe a couple of guys?
It's an opportunity for those other guys, and don't think that they're not like this, okay? I think we got a great scheme. I think we got great coaches, and I think we got depth on the D-line. You got Tyler Bentley, who's really stepped up. Kalijah Cansey is a guy you guys haven't seen much of, but he's electric. So there's a lot of guys going. They just a spot opened up for me, and whether it's Keyshawn Camp getting hurt or Weaver hurt last year, it's just another one of those. Hey, I got an opportunity, and look what Deslin did with his opportunity last year. Look what Patrick Jones did with his opportunity. We moved Patrick from the boundary to the field, and now Patrick and Weaver are now fighting for that. They both want to be the flash end. They always want to be to the field. So there's depth there, and anytime there's an injury. Which are going to happen, guys, in this game of football, or there's, an opportunity, that someone's got to take, to move on. It's just more opportunity for other guys. And, those guys have stepped up in there. Tyler Bentley, Devin Danielson's been really good so far. Who am I going to forget and feel bad afterwards? There's one more. David Green, Central Catholic guy, has been playing really, really well. So, I'm happy with those guys in there. It's not like, the cupboards were bare and they're, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? We've played a lot of D linemen. All those guys will play for us here. All those guys played for us last year, except Cansey. But matter of fact, I think he may have played a little bit on maybe special teams. I know he redshirted. But he may have got in a few snaps. Wait till you see this guy. This guy's electric. This guy's fast. He can rush the passer.
Hey, we'll get the last. Jerry started it. We'll let you end it, and then we'll get to Joey. Go ahead, Jerry.
I'm sorry.
I thought Jeff had a question. Jeff was kind enough to let Kelly go. So Jeff will finish it up, and Jerry, you go now. Here we go. How about that?
I'm sorry.
No, I got in mine. I'll let Jerry go.
I'm sorry. I don't want to dominate things here, but I was just curious, Pat. 2 weeks ago, you talked about a 22-day streak of no positives. How long did that streak last, and is it still ongoing? Maybe. EJ's going to yell at me. We're not allowed to talk about it. Okay, I'm not allowed to talk about it anymore. But it's really good streak. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. I can't talk numbers. I'm not allowed to, but I already said UPMC. I'm fired up about them, and they've done a heck of a job. Our kids have done a heck of a job, and I'm happy with where they are. I'm concerned when school starts. That's my concern. Got to keep them away. Make sure they don't get the cooties.
Okay.
Coach, thank you very much. And Joey Yellen and Rashad Weaver have just joined us as our player representatives. So, Coach, we can let you go. Thank you as always.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Coach.
guys.
And we have Joey and Rashad. And I'll tell you what, why don't we, Rashad, please don't be mad at me, but why don't we start out with a question for Joey? Because I know he was sitting in the waiting room for a little bit. And Jerry, if you'd like to start that session out as well, we can get rolling.
Okay, I don't want to dominate things here, but I'll ask an easy one for Joey. Joey, did you really think this was going to happen, and why did you think it was that you were going to be declared eligible immediately?
It looks like he is just segueing on here. I apologize.
Oh, sorry.
He and Rashad are both connecting. So we'll hold that question for just a moment.
Am I supposed to? I can't see nothing.
There we go. Hey, Rashad, we see you. You're looking good. You look good, bud. And Joey is with us as well. I see Joey there. Hey, Joey, we will start out with questions for you. And our friend Jerry DePaulo, the Tribune Review, is actually just in the midst of asking that. So, Jerry, why don't you go ahead and repeat that, and we'll get rolling.
Hi, Joey. Thanks for your time today. I was just wondering, when you did make the first transfer when you first transferred from Arizona State, did you think you would be eligible immediately, and why did you think you would be eligible immediately?
Well, I knew that we were going to try, and I knew that we had a pretty good case for that. I don't especially want to get into details on it, but I knew the compliance was really good here. I knew I would get help from ASU. They wouldn't kind of try to screw me over or anything like that. So I knew that there would be a chance, and really I knew it was kind of one of those things that wasn't really in my hands. So I tried not to dwell on it too much. Just transferred over and tried to get better by the day.
What was it about the University of Pittsburgh, Joey, that made you choose Pitt?
I think a lot of it was really coaching staff. I really liked Coach Narduzzi. I liked Coach Whipple. I thought that they could help me. They were very transparent throughout the entire recruiting process, which was kind of refreshing, being that it was basically the second time I went through it, being the first one in high school. So I really appreciated that. I believed everything they had to tell me, and just decided to make the jump.
Hey, Joey, you come into this situation where obviously Kenny's kind of the an incumbent starter. What has been your mindset about the way you want to prepare and that kind of thing since you got to Pitt, and maybe how does the situation with coronavirus and maybe guys potentially being unavailable at times change that, if at all?
Yeah, absolutely. Really, this is nothing new to me as far as college football. So being a backup in it, I should say. So really, I'm just trying to make myself available if I'm needed, trying to get better by the day, making the most out of the practices, trying to get in the full swing of things with the offense. I'm starting to see it a little bit better now. But I think you really hit the nail on the head, too, as far as the coronavirus. That's just adding an extra layer of craziness that already is really crazy with college football. So I'm just going to try to be available and be ready if I'm needed.
Joey, how has that on-field transition been, and what's the relationship been like with the other quarterbacks?
It's been good on both fronts. On the field, starting out, it was a little weird. I went from a spread back to a pro-style spreadish type thing, but I'm back in a huddle again, which is the first time since high school. So saying the plays was actually kind of difficult at first, but really it was just going through the motions, seeing all the concepts for the first time, getting ready, getting the chemistry with the receivers that I'm working with. And then the quarterback room's been great. Everybody kind of helps each other. Everybody's good friends in there, and it's just a fun group to be a part of.
Joey, have you been able to see any of the city? What do you like about campus? I mean, you're coming from a totally different environment. Talk to us about what Pittsburgh has meant to you so far.
Yeah, I mean, I like it a lot. Definitely a city feel. I'm not used to that yet, but I like a lot of what it has to offer. A lot of my time I've spent here has been, in the facility and stuff, but any chance I can get to get out and see some more of it I've really liked.
Joey, was Thursday?
Oh shoot, I think I lost you.
Really, we still have you, but we did lose the question. Could you repeat the question, whoever was marking that out? I think it was John.
I heard on Thursday.
Well, as his audio gets fit, do we have another question for Joey, please?
Yeah, Joey, I mean, you obviously come from the Pac-12 to the ACC. The Pac-12's not playing. I'm sure you've got guys that you're friends with that were on the other side of that decision. What was sort of your thoughts and emotions as last week sort of seemed like college football was lining up and deciding on what to do?
I definitely felt for them. I've got friends basically in every major conference, and so for that whole time, we were all just kind of trying to share info, see what we could figure out, which was not a lot. But, it was really crazy. Beginning of last week, we weren't sure what was going to go on, but, Coach Narduzzi kind of kept preaching control the controllables, which I thought was exactly right. We still went about practice as usual and stuff. And I think we're very fortunate, very lucky to still be here. We got to just keep doing our part and making sure that we can get to a season and get through it.
Anything else for Joey before we take some questions from Rashad? Anyone? Joey, thank you for spending some time with us after practice. I know it was a warm one out there today, and we appreciate you taking some time.
Yep, thanks, guys.
Thank you. Okay, now we move on.
EJ.
Yes.
Could I ask Joey a question that comes from John, who has some bad Wi-Fi situation?
I think here comes Joey back on.
Is he still there? All right, Joey, here's a question that you missed. Narduzzi told us about Thursday with practice being canceled and all that, with some players showing symptoms and getting negative results. Was that a bit of a surreal day for the team?
Yeah, I think I wouldn't say surreal just because this whole process has been insane. But I thought we handled it really well. I thought that we were really cautious with what we did. He sent everyone home and stuff. We kind of just played it by ear at that point. Took the day off and were able to come back the next day. And so I thought we handled it really well.
Joey, thanks for letting us fit in one more. We appreciate it very much.
Thanks, guys.
Yep. Okay, now we will move to Rashad. Questions for Rashad, please.
Rashad, it's been it's been a completely unprecedented offseason for many reasons, from the coronavirus situation and from what sort of transpired in the world, and it seems like college athletes have been finding their voice when it comes to speaking out about situations. What's it been like being one of the most experienced guys and a leader on this team, going through such a unusual and different and I'm assuming challenging offseason?
I think it's just kind of one of them situations where you got to step up and respect everyone's ideas and opinions on it, but also try to keep people grounded, not believe everything you see on Twitter when people are just trying to report things, or they're trying to report the worst parts of it to make it seem like it's bad, or people reporting the best parts of it to make it seem like it's nothing. And I think just try to keep guys grounded and respect different people's opinions on the situation and just keep trying to get knowledge on the situation as we get it.
What do you think has been the hardest part of that? How's it been challenging for you?
For me, it's just uncertainty. I like having a set schedule, a set routine, but sometimes you got to cancel a practice or you get changed to a only conference schedule, and then you have Miami schedule at beginning, but then that gets canceled. So for me, it's just uncertainty and just having nothing set in stone. But hasn't been that bad. I adjust with it, and I'll be ready whenever the time is.
Rashad, I know you waited a long time for this season to come, to have it come and then have all these other things, sort of these obstacles with pandemic, with an opt-out. Is there frustration on your part? What's it like to go through that?
I mean, frustration, no, because, we're still set to play right now, but worry, a little frustrated with being worried and not being able to control that. But, as long as we get to go out there and play some games, I'll be good, and that's all I'm really hoping for.
How are you feeling?
I mean,
Everything back to normal?
My back and neck hurt more than anything else. The leg's good. I'm just getting back used to hitting people.
Rashad, you're a guy, a Pitt football player with obviously a pro future ahead of you. How do you feel about playing this season with all the risks that are involved, especially coming off a season-ending injury last summer?
I mean, it is what it is. It's part of the game, I could get hurt walking down my steps. I fall all the time at home, so I ain't really worried about it. I'm ready, take care of your body outside of here, and that gives you the best chance to be healthy on the field.
What about the COVID risks? Are you guys concerned about those?
Me personally, no. It is what it is. You learn to live with it. I'm not really trying to not do much and stay in the house, but learn to live with it and protect myself as much as I can and others. Wear a mask when I'm around people, avoid big crowds, not go out and stuff out, with free time. But I'm not really worried about it. It's just something to live with.
Chad, I'm curious, did you talk to Jalen at all before he made his decision? And was there ever, did you think, obviously you missed last year, so you wouldn't have any recent tape, but did you ever consider, hey, maybe I should just train and try to get my body ready for the combine or whatever they're going to use to measure guys for the draft next year?
No, not at all, I talked to Jalen, he had a situation and he felt that's what's best for him. And, I can't say anything on that because I'm not in his shoes. He put up for a performance together last year to put himself in that situation and feel comfortable doing that, and he might feel different if he was in my shoes and missed the season. I can't answer or say what would have been better or worse when I'm not going through what he's going through or what he did to put himself in that situation. And for me, no, I feel like that wouldn't be helping me at all personally in my position to sit out this year and prepare for the draft, because they would just have tape from 2018 to watch on me, and that would be nothing like I am now. So that would be hard to answer questions on 2018 tape and get someone to pay me millions of dollars for something I don't do anymore.
You said compared to how you are now, how are you now? I mean, how would you compare yourself to where you were at the end of 2018?
Stronger, faster. All last summer worked on pass rush a lot more. You guys hear people yelling; they're doing pictures back there, but a more complete player, really focused on being violent out there, and even when the ball's not coming my way, making it me be seen on the line, resetting the scrimmage and stuff like that, and just a more complete player and really locked into watching on my film and what I didn't like about it.
Rashad, obviously some players had to step up for you when you got hurt last year. Who's in a position to step up with no Jalen this year?
Well, I mean, we got Keyshawn Camp coming back. You guys seen what he did against Virginia on 18 plays. He plays the whole season. Who knows what kind of numbers he has. And then we had guys that got plenty of reps last year with Tyler Bentley and Devin Danielson. So we'll be good there.
Coach is worried about when classes start. He's worried about all you guys. Are you like the team leader who's going to make sure that everybody knows what they're supposed to do once you guys kind of get out more around other students and what you need to do to play?
Well, I definitely, sometimes just try to echo what he says, but we've been doing it now for months. It's the same rules they tell everybody. Wear your mask. Don't be all in someone's personal bubble, personal space. Some of our classes will be online. It's the same stuff you've been seeing on the news, on Twitter to help make the virus go down. That's the same exact rules. It's just make sure, you follow them when you get on campus and you see a lot of students and they're not doing that. Or maybe you see a girl and you want them to see your face or something like that, different things for guys that might do on campus. You just got to keep the bigger goal in mind.
Anything else for Rashad? Any football questions? Anything else?
Rashad, you guys still got a lot of experience up front, even with Jalen being gone. Can you talk about just now that you're back in pads, you guys getting the chemistry together as far as creating pressure and containing the run and adjusting to different things in practice?
Like you said, we got a lot of knowledge up front, but Coach Parcher does a good job at keeping us grounded. What we did last year is nothing. We got a chance to be a better D-line, even without the absence of Jalen. Obviously, that would make us even better, but we can be just as good or better with, me and Keyshawn back, Pat coming back, those guys that were role players last year stepping up, and we're solid. You know, we want to get better every day, and we're not getting lost in the sauce. Really, that's the whole key for us this camp and heading into the season, and I think will be great.
Rashad, at this time of year, usually you go into the facility and they've got the countdown to the first kickoff on all the TV screens. You guys don't even know who that opponent is going to be. What's that been like? And is there sort of a bit of uncertainty not knowing who you're even going to play in week one?
I mean, luckily, you know, the way it's been set up, we have 4 or 5 weeks to the first game, so you really wouldn't be too locked into that yet. It's almost like we're just starting camp. You know, you don't start game week prepping until the players, at least, until a week or two before the game. The coaches, maybe for them, because normally they're prepping months ahead. So for them, but right now, you know, we're basically starting camp. Our practices at the beginning were pre-camp, or they basically finishing up spring ball. Now is time to the kind of timeline leading up to the season. So, you know, you just work on your fundamentals and getting better, and then, you know, when we're closer, if we know who we're playing, then it'll be figured out then.
Rashad, what's the emotion been like at practice, and how much is it a release just when you're able to practice, just to forget about everything else and just be able to go?
You know, it's great. Just the other day, you know, we were just sitting out there after practice on the ground chilling, and DeMar walks up to me and he's like, I don't even want to go inside. Like, you don't have to think about anything while you're out here. It just clears our mind, everything going on. And when we're out on the field and we're practicing, you know, just trying to have fun and hit and learn the plays and get better. You know, sometimes Coach Dews yells at us because we're not supposed to be live, but the defense and offense get to going at it. But it's fun, and I think today we had a really good practice and a lot of energy, and if we keep that up, we'll be good.
Talk about your defense. What's your predictions with everyone coming back?
I mean, you know, predictions don't really do much at this point, but the goal and what I have set in mind is to be, we want to be a top 10 last year. Now we wanted to be the number 1 this year. So that's always the goal. If you're not trying to be the best, then what are you out there working for, honestly?
Alan and Jeff kind of asked my questions, but I'll piggyback off of that, Rashad. A lot of people think that the existence of 2020 college football is like walking on a tightrope. Is the vibe any different around the team because of that? Because who knows whether it's going to be a season or not?
I mean, you know, it's kind of like how it goes on Twitter, up and down. Sometimes the mood goes like that, and you just try to keep everybody in line. You know, when it seems like everybody's tweeting, oh, the season's done for the Big Ten canceled, that means we're done. You know, Spears go down a little bit, but then you see ACC and SEC and Big 12 are going to make it work, and we're going to play this year. You know, they go back up. So you just try to keep everybody in the middle and don't get lost in that until a final decision is made. And you never know. You know, people are talking about maybe the Big Ten coming back after they canceled. So you just got to keep everybody in the middle and don't get too lost in what people are saying until something's set in stone, which nothing's set in stone, it seems like. But
do we have a final question for Rashad before we let him go? If not, Rashad, thank you, man. Really appreciate your time. Great job as always. And to our assembled reporter colleagues, thank you for joining us today. I'll be back in touch in our next opportunity. But thank you for the time today from everyone.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, EJ.
Thank you all.